brings you into contact with any other person on earth? We have 1 degree of separation from the man who is saving our country from socialism and some might say communism. Gene Ho grew up in Long Island, moved to Myrtle Beach, started a wedding photography business, apparently was very successful. He had 30 photographers working for him, decided to take a chance on the Trump campaign. He met all sorts of trials and tribulations that you're probably going to hear about today, and through that all, he found his faith. He wrote this book. This book, How Biblical Principles Paved the Way to the American Presidency. I got this early so that I could read through it and see what this guy's all about. This is a very interesting book. He's woven together Bible big guys in there, Joshua and everybody you hear about, Jonah, and how that played out with Trump and the people surrounding him. This is a really good book. I thought it was just going to be a pretty picture book, but it's not at all. There's a lot of substance to it. It's very good. Anyway, I'd highly recommend this. And apparently, although he's not related to Don Ho, he can sing Tiny Bubbles. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Gene Ho.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this, okay. First of all, I know that we are in California, but I have to make sure I'm in the right place. Are there any Donald J. Trump fans in the house? Good start so far, good start. Okay, let's keep it going. Do we have any Melania Trump fans in the house? Okay, I know we're in California, but just to make sure, are there any Hillary Rodham Clinton fans in the house? Well, you know what? No, you have to be, someone called me out on that. Someone called me out. They say, Gene, have you ever personally met Hillary Rodham Clinton? I had to say no, but there's proof I never met her because I'm still alive. I'm still alive. No Clinton body count here. So, the best job ever. I was Donald Trump's personal campaign photographer for all 2 years of the 2016 election. Give it up. Is that not cool? And now, I have the privilege of also not being on tour, not only being on tour, but I am the personal photographer for 2 lovely ladies, Diamond and Silk. Any Diamond and Silk fans in the house? But here's the best thing about it. I knew Diamond and Silk before they ever became famous. But here's the thing about it. I was in the Trump campaign long before Diamond and Silk. And the crazy thing about it, when it comes to Diamond and Silk and when it comes to the campaign, my first name is Gene and my last name is Ho. But the thing is with the campaign, everyone in the campaign called me by my first and last name together. And I was really popular. Because every time they see me, they're going to get a picture with Trump. So it's like, oh, Gene Ho is here. Gene Ho is here. Oh, Gene Ho's going to take our picture. Okay. Diamond and Silk think my name is Gino. I never corrected them for 2 years. I never corrected them. I thought they were flirting with me. So finally, after 2 years, Diamond and Silk, we become great friends, and they call me up on my cell phone. And it's Silk. She goes, Gino, baby. Silk, is that you? Are you drinking some wine? Gino, baby. We want you to take a picture of us, and this picture will be with President Trump, and will go into Time magazine. All right? As a photographer, I've been a photographer now for 30 years, and I have never got a picture taken for Time magazine. I mean, to be honest, it was the best thing in the world. But here's the thing about it when it comes to Time magazine. So it finally did happen one day. So I get Diamond and Silk, and I get Donald Trump, and I take a picture for Time magazine. But then every week after that, I have to go to the grocery store and check out the Time magazine Because I'm certainly not subscribing to that dumb magazine, right? It's not coming to my house. So what ends up happening is this. Every 2 weeks I go, hey, you know what? Let me go check it. Oh, it's not there. And then another 2 weeks goes by, and I'm going, and it's like, oh, no. Finally, I'm in the grocery store, best day ever. I go into the grocery store, open the Time magazine, and it's my picture of Diamond and Silk and the President of the United States. Give it up for me, Time magazine. So I'm getting ready to frame it for my mom because I'm so excited. I look at this picture, and I scroll down, and it says, photo credit by Gino Ho. So it worked out good, though. But the first question everyone always asks me, they say, Gene, how in the world did you get a chance to take pictures of Donald Trump? I mean, if you think about it, that's amazing. That really is amazing. Well, here's the thing. I've been a photographer for 30 years. So I've been doing everything. And I was actually known as, they call it a celebrity photographer, because I took all pictures of people from Hollywood, sports stars. I had a training video of photography. In the United States, there's 50,000 professional photographers. This training video went viral, 500,000 views for a training thing. So I was doing well in this, and I had 30 employees, 30 photographers working for me. But can you believe I never did anything with politics? But then one day, we talked about the Tea Party. The Tea Party just decided to hire me for an event. So I'm there. This is long before Trump was even running for president. So Ben Carson was there. Ted Cruz was there. And Donald Trump was there. But the thing is, the Donald Trump people were going crazy that I was there. It was amazing. They said, Gene Ho is here. Gene Ho is here. Mr. Trump, Gene Ho is here. And Donald Trump said, who the hell is Gene Ho? But it was the best thing ever. They said, okay, Gene, you know what? While you're here, we like for you to meet Donald Trump personally, and we'll bring you on to his 757. And I'm like freaking out because I just showed up for work, and next thing, Donald Trump is asking me to go to his plane, and I couldn't believe it. Here's if you ever meet Donald Trump and get a chance to meet him, the main thing about meeting Donald Trump, you just got to play it cool, right? So I was like all cool and oh, hello, Mr. Trump. And I'm texting my wife, I'm on the plane, I'm on the plane. Hello, Mr. Trump, is this fabric cashmere? So Donald Trump was the most amazing person. I took pictures of him, got a chance to know him. And then after that, I was bragging to everyone on Facebook. I was on Trump's plane. I took pictures of Donald Trump. This was long before it was even running for president. And then I never thought anything of it. And then about 5 weeks later, the most amazing thing, I get a letter from Donald Trump himself, and I was so amazed because I look at it. It's from Donald Trump. And then I opened the letter, and then I got depressed because it says, Mr. Trump would like you to read the following letter. And I got depressed because I thought it was a cease and desist. But then it was perfect because Donald Trump said, Gene, love the photos. Thank you very much. Love it. And I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. I got his autograph, and he loves my photos. Didn't think anything of it. And then, about 2 weeks later after that, Donald Trump does his first event, and they actually asked me to take pictures of it, and I did. It was the most amazing time taking pictures of Donald Trump. And here's another lesson for you with this. The next day, I didn't think anything of it, but he had another event the next day. So they asked me to take pictures of the first event, and they didn't ask me to take pictures of the second event the next day, which is about 5 hours away. So you can think about traveling. So what I did, I said, man, I like this guy. I really like this guy. So I would love to work for him. So the next day, they didn't ask me to do the next event. It just shows you just got to put yourself in the right place. I was so embarrassed to do it. I felt really dumb. But I woke up at 4 a.m., put on a shirt and a jacket and just travel down there. My wife was looking at me at 4 a.m. It's like, do you have a job? And so I just showed up. I just showed up at the Donald Trump. I mean, back then there was no security, just one bodyguard he had. And I was feeling so dumb. And then I got there working, ready to work. No one hired me, but I'm ready to work. And then how many of you guys remember Corey Lewandowski? Okay, great guy. Scary for me, though, because he looks at me and goes, you, come here. And I was like, oh, he's going to kick me out of here. What am I doing here? And he goes, Gene, we don't need you at this event, but we need you down the street at the Doubletree Hotel. We have another event there, so meet us there. And I was like, whoa, I just got a job with the Trump campaign. It was the most amazing thing, and I stayed there and worked 2 or 3 months before he even officially began to run, and worked until Election Day of 2016. And you guys remember when we had the great president of the United States, Donald Trump. So that was the most amazing thing. So the best thing about being on the campaign, originally the campaign was really, really fun because it was just me, Trump, Corey Lewandowski, and his one bodyguard, Keith Schiller, and we had the blast. We just go to different places. To give you an idea, Trump's first rally, his first rally was 50 people in a room. So if you think about it, it's about this table right here and this table, and that's it. And the amazing thing about it is Donald Trump took his 757, gassed it up, $70,000 to go there to talk to 50 people in a room. It was just the most amazing thing. But that was the most fun part of the campaign. Then it got a little bit harder because Secret Service came into the picture. And this wasn't the best thing in the world. Let me tell you about the time that I almost got killed by Secret Service. So my job is to make Donald Trump look good. So I did the Twitter pictures, some of the Twitter pictures, the rally pictures. Backstage, the best part, I did the VIP pictures. So the VIPs were backstage, and there's usually about maybe 25 people backstage. And we're just sitting there waiting for Donald Trump to walk in the room. And my job is to take pictures. Okay, Mr. Trump, stand here. Next person, click, next person. My job is to make Donald Trump look good. Here's the thing. We're backstage with Secret Service all over the place, and I see Donald Trump walk in, and his tie is crooked. So I go up there to his neck like this, and the Secret Service goes, ooh, stand down, stand down. I'm like, oh, no, stand down, no, no. They go, what are you doing? You attacked Donald Trump. I said, I didn't attack Donald Trump. I went after like this to fix his tie. I didn't go, oh, oh. Like I'm the Chinese assassin or something. Where was Chinese collusion? After Russian collusion, I wanted Chinese collusion so bad so I could get on damn TV, right? So it's the best thing. Trump was wonderful, but that day that happened, we had 4 events that day. It was exhausting. And you know how Donald Trump trolls people, right? Donald Trump's always trolling people on the Twitter. Donald Trump trolled me personally. It was the best thing because at the end of the day, we're all tired. It's the 5th event. Donald Trump walks into the room and he looks at me and goes, Gene, is my tie straight? So it's been a wonderful experience. Since then, we've been able to go and travel the world, or to travel the country, promoting events just like this all around the country. It's been great. Got a chance to go on the Eric McTax's show, got a chance to go to Huckabee. I'm telling you, it's crazy because originally, when I was first working for the Trump campaign, I was here because I was on the campaign, and Diamond and Silk was way back here because they're lower. And then Diamond and Silk, they're like mega stars now. That's incredible. So they're way up here, and then finally they said, hey, Gene, come with us out on the tour. We'll promote you alongside of it. Diamond and Silk are the most wonderful people. Diamond and Silk treat me like the Backstreet Boy that never got famous. You know, they took me under the wing. Everyone was getting famous, and then suddenly Diamond and Silk said, hey, we'll take you along. We'll bring you up with us. But I'm telling you, it's been great. I'm telling you, it's been good. Getting famous. I've been in Reno, Nevada, and some beautiful girl comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you, I know who you are. You're," and I said, "Gene Ho." And they go, "No, you're the lead singer from the band Journey." So it was a wonderful experience, but I do want to talk a little bit serious about it because I want to tell you exactly what happened during this campaign to me. I know that in 2020, we are going to have a landslide of epic proportions. Donald Trump is going to be elected, and I am telling you, you wait and see how the people of the great state of California is going to stand up, and we're going to do our best to turn this state red. I am telling you. But here's the thing. The reason why I know this is going to happen is because the silent majority is not silent anymore. I am going to tell you the story about what happened to me. I was the darling of the liberal left. I had a very big company, a very big photography company. But here's the thing about it. The photography company and the arts world is made up of big-time liberals. And I was the darling of the liberal left. My studio, we sponsored NAACP events. My studio sponsored LGBT events. I hired LGBT photographers. And just to give you an idea, when we were raising our children, my wife and I had and picked a nanny that was LGBT. The community loved us, and they adored us. But here's what happened. When I saw Donald Trump, and I saw how he treated me, and I saw how he treated the other minorities around him, and when I saw this man that was running for president that believed himself, I secretly supported Donald Trump. I tell you this, when it comes to it, I was a silent majority, and I almost wanted to be silent because I had a big business and I wanted to keep it intact. But this is what happened, and this is almost like the truth of it. For lack of a better word, I lied to everyone because I was like, everyone in my staff was like, "Gene, how in the world could you support Donald Trump?" And I had to lie because I was a coward and I was part of the silent majority. And I said to everyone, "Listen, guys, come on, man, this is just a job. This is a job. I'm just doing it. You know, Trump has me out here. I'm just doing this job." And they're like, "Okay." You know what? But it comes a time when the silent majority cannot be silent anymore. On the last day of the campaign, I wanted to make it clear to everybody because I have a halfway decent social media presence. On the last day of the campaign, I finished my last job and I went home and I wrote on Facebook a very warm and telling endorsement of Donald Trump. And I wanted to write it on the last day so no one could say, "Hey, you're only supporting Trump because you're working for him." But at the same time, I had to come out in the open and let people know, and my photographers to know, and people in the community to know, that I support Donald Trump. I support Donald Trump, and that's the most important thing for me to do. And so I wrote that. I wrote that endorsement, and it was no problem that night. No problem at all. The problem became after Trump actually won. When Trump won, the liberal left lost their collective minds, and my photographers started to quit on me. Boycotts of my company were starting to take place, and all these people that used to love me started to hate me. My company that used to have 25, 30 photographers went down to maybe a couple other persons and just me and my wife. And here's the worst part about it. I have been in business for 30 years. In 30 years, I have never been audited by the IRS. When I started working for Donald Trump, I got audited the first time. After he won the election, I got audited the second time. And this second time was the most brutal thing you have ever seen. This audit was so bad that the average audit, by the way, if you ever been audited, goes 3 months. My audit went 9 months. My CPA said it was the worst audit that she has ever seen. And it was so bad, and I'll tell you why it was so bad. Because here I was, the hotshot photographer, big company, 30 employees, president's photographer. I was having the time of my life. And then my world came crashing down. Because at this time, number one, I'm working to save my business, so I worked the weekends on my business. The weekdays, I worked for Trump. So I'm not spending any time with my family, my children. And then suddenly the campaign's over, and I'm a big shot. And we're not spending time with my wife. I'm not spending time with my family. And then I'm getting audited, and I'm losing my business. People are quitting on me, active boycotts. On top of that, I know the magic number if you've ever been audited, and it's not hard to reach. One of the mistakes I made, besides someone reporting me, I didn't know, and this was an honest mistake, but my nanny used to work for me as a photographer. She was getting paid by the company, and then when we had our beautiful children, we said, hey, you know what, instead of traveling around being a photographer for a while, would you like to be our nanny? She says, yes, of course, it'd be wonderful. I could stay here at your home and watch your children. Now, think about this. I never thought about it. This is an honest mistake. But when she became my nanny, I paid her from the business account. I didn't know that you're supposed to say, wait a minute, she's not an employee anymore, so now pay from the personal. The magic number, guys, for the IRS is $50,000. If you reach $50,000 of unreported or misreported income, it's going into criminal prosecution land. So what it is was you got $35,000 for the nanny, and then after that, what do you have is like this, the audit for 9 months. Well, let me see this travel expense. Oh, no, that doesn't qualify. Let me see this. Oh, no, that was traveling, but you had your children with you, so that doesn't qualify. So that's another $1,000. So you have $1,000 here, $500 here, $1,000. And now we want you to see this piece of paper. We want this. And then the IRS, even worse than that, they subpoenaed my calendar, my personal calendar. So you could just imagine what things that people are looking for. They're looking for something that says, oh, so-and-so pay cash to so-and-so, go vacation time, and then we write it off, anything. And it just went after that. And if you don't think that it really happens, there were people that were thrown in prison for supporting Trump by the IRS for tax evasion. It's happened, and it has happened. Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, the whole people that were around Trump were being attacked. And I'll tell you, at this time, it was the worst time in my whole life. I couldn't eat anymore. I'm depressed because here I go from the top of the world to possibly go into prison. My wife and my family is in shambles, and I don't have the book to promote at this time. But I'll never forget how this all happened. At about the 9 months mark of this, I was called into yet another meeting with the IRS, and this time it was not only the IRS, but it was the head guy from the IRS. It's like a regional person there. So I'm in the room, and there's 3 people that are going to be there. There's me, there is my CPA, and then there is the person from the IRS. And at that time, I didn't have any other choice. I didn't know what to do. So I took a 4th chair, and I pulled it up, and I called this chair the Jesus chair. And I said, Jesus, if you want to come and just see what's going on, here's an empty chair for you, and you just sit there. And I tell you, guys, like a birth from then, the problems with the IRS dissolved. It went away, and I was freed from that. And this much I can tell you, this was not a deal. I did not say to Jesus, please save me from this, and I will serve you. I just said, please, just sit in this chair, please. He saved me from this mess. And then after he saved me, I could have done anything I wanted. I could have said, well, thank you. There was no deal. But after that, I said, I am going to serve the Lord. After this point, I started reading the Bible. My wife, separate from me, started reading the Bible. And we wrote this book about Donald Trump. And the way the book came about, it was really interesting because everyone expected me to have a picture book. And that was my intention all along. But during this time, after the audit, after I was set free from it, and by the way, to show you that I'm telling the truth about this, my book, you can see it, my book is dedicated to my CPA. Like how are you a CPA and you get dedicated to in a book? So my CPA, when I showed it to her, she didn't even see it. And then later on, because she doesn't even think, she's like, there's no way this book is going to be dedicated to me. And later, like, wow, you dedicated a book to me. It was great. So after I started reading the Bible, and what I discovered was that a lot of the things that Donald Trump did was matching what I was reading from the Bible. Because in the past, and I have to say, because I met them, almost all of them, there's probably no greater person as a Christian that I met than Dr. Ben Carson. This guy, man, Dr. Ben Carson is a wonderful, wonderful man. But when I was reading this in the Bible, it's almost as if God put a man just like Trump at this time. And if you read the Bible, you're going to find that a lot of these people that God used can be very, very, very nasty people that will fight for God tooth and nail, people like Joshua. And these are the people that I looked about in the Bible, and I said, wow, this person reminds me of how Trump does things. A lot of the people in the Bible, they're not all, see, the liberal left wants to take us Christians and put us in a little box, and they say, oh, we can make fun of you, but you can't make fun of us, and you just sit here and be a good little Christian, put you in a little box, and then you stay there. What Trump has taught us in America is that if we believe in conservative values, we need to stand up for it. If we believe that we in Christianity and we believe in Jesus, we don't need to be ashamed about it anymore. We need to stand up and not be put in a little box, and now this is what Trump has taught us. So when it comes to all of these things, it's just amazing for us what we can become today. And I am telling you this, my life has been changed because of what I'm doing. And I just got back from New York City. I met with the Laura Trump in Trump Towers, talked to her at length about California. And I told her about the people of California and what an amazing group of people you are. And you guys are being suppressed by your government. Guys, I know about corruption, so let me tell you about how corruption works. And I know this is something that you don't already know, but to see it firsthand. Guys, gasoline is $2 a gallon. You all know that. Well, I know you guys don't. In South Carolina, the way they work it is gasoline is $2 a gallon. It might be $1.50 or whatever they buy it, and then the government, rightfully so, says, hey, 10 cents here for tax, 10 cents here for tax, 10 cents. Guys, your gas prices here is like, what, $3.50 a gallon? It's all corruption in there because people that are in charge are embedding their taxes and lining their own pockets with this. It's time for everyone here, and people in California can see it, and people in California will stand up. But when it comes to what I'm doing here, I will talk about a couple of things, and before I go here, besides the book for $30, if you go think about purchasing that, but also if some people already got the book and just want to go back there, say hello, get a picture, or even make a small donation, $5, $2, whatever, we have free Drain the Swamp stickers back there. If you just pick one up, and you could do that. But if you do want to make a small donation, $2, $5, whatever, there's a little red basket in the back, or buy a book. And the other thing is, please, my wife and I have a new show. It's called Right on Focus. And you can see it here. You go to rightonfocus.com. You can see it for free, but it's also on Apple TV, Roku. So far, we had a great great interviews. We just interviewed Juanita Broderick, who is wonderful. And I'm going to tell you, she is going to be back in the national news soon. In about another year, we know stuff that's going on and stuff that's going to go down, and she's out there fighting. But Juanita Broderick, we interviewed. The other person, this week is going to be Brandon Strack is going to be on the show. Wonderful guy. So we have a lot of stuff going on. But before I go, and I could even probably take a few questions in a little bit, but before I go, I just want to tell you what we need to do for us. We here in California and we here in America, we are going to win 2020. We know that. We know Trump is going to win. But to me, this is not enough. And I know that I met with Laura Trump. That's not enough. We don't want to just win. We want to win decisively in 2020. And we want to make such a dent, and I believe California can turn red. With all my heart, I believe it. Diamond and Silk have more people come to their shows in California than any other state. Diamond and Silk sell more merchandise in California than any other state. And as proof, if you go to my Facebook and you scroll down, I have the Amazon.com numbers of my book sales. Nadine and I sell more books of Trumpography in L.A. than any other city in America. Bona fide. I believe that when it comes to what we're doing here, California will turn red. But the way we're going to do it is if we are no longer part of the silent majority. We cannot be part of the silent majority, and I understand being afraid because I was a first and foremost. I didn't want people to attack me, so I was a silent majority. But it's time now. 2020 is up to all of us to stand tall and vote for Donald Trump and be proud of voting for Donald Trump. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, thank you. Before I go, we'll just have time for a few questions. You might have to shout it out. Does anyone have any questions about? Yeah, I would love to, and nothing's off. Nothing's off basis here.
Okay, if you have a question and you pick somebody, let them come up here and ask their question.
Yeah, please. You know what? I have a choice right now. Whether I just met with Laura Trump, I have a choice right now to ask Laura for a job as a photographer, my old job with the campaign, but if I do that, I can't spend time with my wife and children here. Or my other choice is to go travel around the country with my wife and children. We're going to go see Sequoia National Park, right? He's so excited about it. And we get to travel around the country, and we get to speak with people like you. If I was part of the campaign as before, I used to have to get permission every time that I did a radio interview, and you have to be following the rules of the campaign. So I love the campaign, I love Laura Trump, and I love Donald Trump, but I feel like it would be more effective talking to people like you here. Yes, right here, please.
You mentioned the format of tweets, and I'm curious if you followed the business about QAnon and the tweets, and if you'd comment about the legitimacy of QAnon.
Okay, that's a good question. Here's the thing. This much I will say. Donald Trump did not run on the platform of build the wall. Donald Trump ran on the platform of drain the swamp. And that is what he is doing right now. And I know that, and I'm going to tell you this much. The problem with all of this, don't get caught up in whether this is true or whatever. This much I know. Donald Trump is draining the swamp. And there are things coming down. There are things in place. And this much I know. I know certain things that I will not reveal at this time. But I know a lot about what's going on behind the scenes. I know about how a lot of this is going down. So just button your seatbelts because it's going to get really good really fast.
Okay. I have a question, Gene.
And where we go one, we go all.
Okay. And Stephen may have the same question. All right. This group, when Trump was here in 2016, his rally turned into a massacre of the poor people that were there, okay? Can you give President Trump a message?
You tell me what it is, and I'll arrange it.
Okay. When we were there, and many people were beat up because ineptness, perhaps, of the police department, I had coffee with the chief of police, Eddie Garcia, and he said he would like a do-over. He would like to prove that the San Jose PD is capable of protecting citizens. He said he would want a do-over. So can you please tell President Trump that the chief of police of San Jose said he would like a do-over, and we would love to have the president here. I know they think California is unwinnable, but we don't think so. And this group, led by Stephen, we signed a giant card and sent it to the White House. We don't know if the president ever got it, but we said, please come to San Jose and do a do-over.
Well, I tell you this much. I came to San Jose. I love this place. San Jose is just amazing. You guys are just wonderful. Okay, let's do 2 more questions. We'll do this one and then one back there. Okay.
And you can't say certain things. But personally, I'm sick and tired of Trump. They're trying to pin, every time you go to pin on him. But people like Hillary and Comey and all these people are walking free. Do you personally think that in draining the swamp, some of these Democrats are finally going to be held?
Okay. Very good. This much, guys, I will tell you. I'm originally from New York. I live in South Carolina today. I've lived in South Carolina since I was 20 years old. I grew up in New York City watching Donald Trump. Donald Trump does not allow himself to get hit and not hit back. I am telling you this. Donald Trump is not going to sit there and take all these punches. He's free now from all this fake impeachment stuff, and he is in charge now. He is in charge, and you are going to see people. I am telling you, I have faith in it. I know things. We know, guys, Nadine and I hang out with some congressmen, and I mean, we know a lot of people in this. Sit tight. Make sure you support Trump. But there is justice coming, I am telling you. Okay. Let's do one more back there, and then I'll sit back there and sign some books. And wait, guys, thank you so much for having me, guys. It's just amazing. It's so wonderful. Please.
So we're so excited about our president, but we want to also think about the future, because who in your world are you seeing the next person to take his legacy and to further strengthen it?
Okay. You have to listen to me because this is the most important thing. When Trump first started, Trump was our leader. What Trump has done is he's done the best thing in the world. He says, I'm not your leader. I showed you what it is to become a leader. The next leaders in America are people like us. It is us that will stand up. Yes, will there be someone else? There are a lot of good people out there. A lot. I'll be honest. Some people said this, and there's so many good choices. I want to get Laura Trump to become the next president of the United States. The Trump family is so dynamic. We will find, after Trump, we will find another leader. But the most important thing is, we need to be leaders ourselves. We need to go out, we need to run for office, and we need to change America this way. So guys, thank you very much. I love you. Love you guys.